Hello! Welcome back to ArchoniaFest 2024. This is day 4, and we're starting off with Karl. Karl, I said your name on stream a few weeks ago, and I realized I don't know if I correctly pronounced your last name. I said
Right.
Aegeus.
Yeah, close.
Is it Aegeus?
It's Ajus.
Aegeus. Okay.
Yeah, we're pretty close.
All right. Close enough.
By the way, hey Mia, hey Matron.
Hey, yes, Mia and
Good
Dungeon
morning.
Matron in the
Good morning.
Discord. Good to see you guys,
Good
or
morning.
in the stream chat. I mean,
Yeah.
we're streaming live to Twitch and YouTube as we've been doing all week. This is the start of our 12 hours for today. Later today, we'll have a sideboard game run by Jason and a new Easy D6 playset called Eldritch City Blues run by DM Scotty, with some other stuff
Nice.
in between.
I'll
But
be prepping for Delta Green.
and I'll be prepping for tomorrow's Archonia session. But before any of that, we've got Karl here with us. Karl, for anyone who might not know who you are, why don't you tell us about your channel and what you do?
Okay, so I've got a crafting channel which is called Karl Makes Stuff, so that makes it easy for me to remember. And last couple of years, I've also been interviewing a lot of people around the crafting and tabletop gaming space. One of whom was Steve, but we've also had DM Scotty over and Brandish. Uh, also, goodness, my
Well, we were just looking through your channel. We saw
Yes.
Professor Dungeon Master.
Yeah, I was looking through your
Yeah,
channel
yeah.
and I was very impressed to see you talk to people like Seth and the person from Call of Cthulhu,
Sandy Peterson.
Sandy
Andy Peterson, yeah.
and also a Dungeon Discourse. I'm like, wow, this person, he's really talked to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And what's the other one?
Professor Dungeon Master.
Yeah, Professor Dungeon Master.
Yeah. I mean, especially with people like Sandy Peterson and Seth Korkowski. I mean, they're big guys. And Thomas Perrinen, formerly of Games Workshop. I was surprised they said yes, but talking to them, they were really nice people to talk to.
Yeah. I invited Seth Sarkowski to Archonia Fest, and I never heard back from him.
How was it? How was it like talking to Sandy Peterson?
Incredibly easy. I mean, like I said, he's a really nice, easygoing guy, and you know, I mean, you've played Call of Cthulhu, you've possibly seen some of his recorded games or seen his channel. He's a really good storyteller. So once he started talking, it's like, I mean, some people just are just like that. They can just keep a conversation going super easily.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah, that's right. You interviewed our own Mia Pepper one time. She was the first one of your videos that I watched, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I love Mia's crafting, and man, she's super prolific. I mean, she didn't make things in small quantities. So, yeah.
Speaking of that, how did you get into the crafting hobby? Like what really started it off for you?
Oh, okay. So, so I started playing war games back in the last millennium, a long time ago. So I think I was about 13 or something like that. So if you wanted terrain, you had to build it yourself out of whatever material you could find. So cardboard mostly, some expanded polypropylene. That kind of took it from there. And I kind of had a break for a few years, about a decade, I would say, and eventually I found the black magic craft, I want to say, and I was like, I used to do this stuff, I used to enjoy it. Maybe I should start doing that again.
Sorry, we're having a little bit of trouble hearing your mic right now.
Yeah, in the middle of what you were saying, it got a little bit muffled all of a sudden.
Let's see. See if I can raise the gain a bit.
Oh, you sound better now.
I think you bumped it by accident.
Oh, yeah, or maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, you sound good now. Thanks.
Okay, so where was I? 1990s. Started building my own terrain for stuff and stopped for a very long time and eventually found Black Magic Craft.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Discovered that there was a lot of new stuff that didn't exist back when I started, like not just products, but also concepts. Like, for example, I don't know, painting non-metallic metal or building stuff like that.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I should try this again, and I tried it again. and I've been doing that ever since.
Yeah, and you've got some great craft. Now, I said the first video of yours I watched was Mia, but I really meant the first live stream interview of yours that I watched was Mia. I had seen your crafting channel in sort of on the periphery of stuff I was watching for years. You do a lot of cool stuff. I love your cheap battle mat craft.
Yeah, that's gone really well. I think that's seems to be everyone's favorite.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking about the interviews, how did that start off? Also, like, how did you get the idea to start interviewing people?
Great
and,
question.
And
Yeah.
and what made you want to pursue that?
Okay, it actually started. It wasn't my idea. That started with another channel called The Crazy Crafter by one Colin Bressy.
Oh,
Lovely guy. So I think before I would say maybe 4 years ago or something like that, I didn't really watch any live streams. Why would anyone want to watch a YouTube video for 2 hours or 3 hours? Yeah,
12 hours.
or 12 hours. So then Colin had started his channel where he was doing live streams, interviewing different crafters every week, and he invited me on once. I kept watching it because I kind of enjoyed the format. Then eventually stuff happened, and Colin stopped doing his live streams. But by that time, there was this little community that had grown up around that channel. Among them, for example, Mia and Dungeon Mate and a whole bunch of others.
Okay.
And I was like, after a couple of weeks, I was, hey, I kind of miss those streams. I miss hanging out with everybody. So I'm going to start doing this and I'm carry the torch kind of thing.
That's great.
That's
yeah.
really cool.
Yeah. And
Okay, so
what were you going to say?
yeah, so I had to learn how to use OBS and how streaming worked, and a few days later, off I went.
OBS can be a weird
Yeah.
mistress sometimes.
Yeah. I just,
Yeah, but once you get used to it, it's super powerful.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's very powerful. But there's always going to be more quirks to learn how to deal with. I dealt with one this morning.
How I was gonna ask, how do you approach asking people to come on the show? Because you have such a wide variety of people. Do you just send them emails and they just answer you and that's it?
Either emails or Facebook messages or wherever they prefer to be contacted, really. I mean, for example, some people who have a Facebook page, usually I don't like to send emails directly because I find that a bit invasive. But for example, if they have a business page and they answer that, fine, I'll do the communication through that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I never contact them directly through their personal Facebook unless it's someone I know personally.
That makes
Gotcha.
sense. Yeah. It's always tricky to try and guess which platforms people check because everyone's different, right? Like I never check Facebook. I got on there and found out some of my had been messaging me for like 8 weeks and I hadn't seen it. and same for Twitter. But if you hit me up on Discord, I'll answer right away.
Yeah, and if someone doesn't answer you within 3 or 4 weeks on one platform, just try a different platform.
Yeah.
So you don't berate them with messages. You just try once and you just move on.
Yeah, I mean, look, if someone kept bombing me with messages, I would just say, okay, block.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
None. Yeah.
Like Steve tried to get a hold of Kevin Crawford. I don't know if you know him. He does Worlds Without Number, Stars Without Number, Cities Without Number.
Yeah.
And we have never seen a picture of that guy ever. And we like to joke that he's not a real person. He's just like a entity in space.
His mother's never seen his face.
But he actually wrote back to Steve after he messaged him.
Yeah, he was very polite. He declined because he doesn't like to be on social media at all, and there's a reason no one's seen his face. He doesn't put it out there, but no, he was very polite, and he's actually the only person that replied and gave me a no. Everyone else, I don't even know if they got my message, but he's the only actual no I got.
Yeah, I mean, that does happen sometimes, but
Yeah,
just find someone else or keep going or whatever.
Yeah, you gotta respect it.
yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, when you're inviting someone to stream or interview, you're basically asking them to give you some of their time.
Yeah. And not everyone has that time to give.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, this is kind of like a gaming question. I wanted to ask, what's your game of choice
Hmm.
for role playing
Alan, I think you're better at this than I am.
game? I just really want to know what he's into.
Okay, I really like EZT6. I think that's what I've played most in the last couple of years since it came out.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Call of Cthulhu is one of my favorites,
Awesome.
and we have been playing that quite a bit recently. And some homebrew versions of OSR sometimes, but I'm kind of getting over the whole die 20 thing. I either like to go either super crunchy like Call of Cthulhu
Mhm.
or super rules like Easy 6. I mean, like it's one of the cases where you don't really need the middle ground. You don't need the balance.
Okay.
Did you start with regular D&D back in the day, or was it something else?
Second edition D&D, yeah.
Oh, okay. And you played
Second edition AD&D, yeah.
3, 4, and 5?
No, I played second edition. I played third edition. I was on my kind of hobby break when fourth and fifth came out, and then I looked at fifth edition and I was like, "This is way too many rules."
Yeah. That's how I felt about fourth edition because the feats are just crazy. Pages and pages and pages of feats.
Yeah, fourth edition was. I played it a lot. I never built a character without the character build that they had online at the time. I'm not sure I would have been able to.
No, like I remember going to my friend's house and taking like hours just to get through our feats because we had to read through all of them.
Yeah.
And I was just like, whew, way too much. Way too much.
No, but I mean, I that's interesting that you say fifth edition was too much because I played a lot of fifth edition. I've moved away from it mostly now, but I played a lot of fifth edition, and when I look back at third, that overwhelms me.
Mhm.
I think back then, I think it was slightly different because coming off of second edition,
Yeah.
third is so streamlined.
Mhm.
Oh, it's smooth, and you don't have 36 systems to do the same thing. It's awesome.
That's great.
What was
So yeah, I think I was at the time I was primed to just go, okay, this is simpler. I like it.
Fair enough. Yeah,
10 years later or whatever, it's like getting back into it. It's like yeah, I've seen other systems, I've played other systems. Nope, this is too many rules.
fifth edition felt that way coming from fourth, actually, because I
Yeah,
don't think fourth is that complicated, but like in combat, fifth is just so much simpler.
Mia saying Warhammer or
Mordheim,
Mordheim? This is on.
definitely both, but mostly more time.
mostly Mordheim. Okay, interesting.
I mean, again, if you want to get someone to play a game with someone, like say, for example, a friend who hasn't played the game yet or whatever, yeah, it's much easier to carry 20 miniatures and a small table of terrain rather than an 8 by 6 table and 500 miniatures aside.
I've always been fascinated by Warhammer, but it's so intimidating. Like I find it so intimidating because there's so many races, so many things, and the buy-in to buy all these miniatures.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I can't afford it.
Yeah,
I
D and
can't
D
afford
is
it.
expensive, but Warhammer.
Warhammer, no, it's a whole event, and it's much more expensive now than when I was 12 or 13. It still wasn't cheap, but the prices now are something at a different level entirely.
Yeah, and when you were 12 and 13, you probably had less of your own money, but you could still do it sometimes, right?
Yeah, yeah. On the other hand, the old world setting for Warhammer Fantasy is still one of my favorite role-playing game settings. Period.
No.
In fact, I've run that setting in other game systems because I also have Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, but that one is way, way, way clunkier than anything that Warhammer Fifth Edition, sorry, that than D&D Fifth Edition could ever be.
Yeah, yeah. The lore in Warhammer is so rich and so creative.
Yeah.
I'm not an expert at it, but I have seen a couple of videos of the lore from the lore masters on YouTube, and it's some crazy stuff. Just the Emperor alone, you can talk about him forever.
Yeah. So Karl, you I wanted to highlight something about you that I find really important, because I remember when I was putting out the flyer for this event that you said something to the effect of how weird it was to see your name up there with names like Brandish and Scotty and
Yeah, yeah.
um, and I was thinking about that afterwards. But you have lower view counts than some of the people who've been on, but I don't invite people here because of their view counts. I invite them because I want to hang out with them. But also, I think you are, I think you're very important to the community because you introduce us to each other.
Oh, thanks.
You introduce us to each other. There's so many people that I have ever given a look at if you hadn't interviewed them, or ever maybe even heard of. So from those of us who do know who you are, thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, without you, we would have never met Mia, right?
No, that's not true. I met Karl through Mia, actually.
Oh, okay.
I met Mia through Scotty.
Well, thank you, Mia.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I love it when you can meet people in the community, because I feel like that's one thing that's hard to do nowadays is the internet. Like playing with strangers on the internet can be a catch-22 sometimes, but it's nice to still have that opportunity to meet a genuine good person through another friend.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely agree.
Yeah, and then there's another thing. Some of the people I bring up on the streams, for example, don't have channels of their own, but they're amazing crafters.
Yeah.
Then there are other people who have channels. We've seen them do stuff and everything, but we, as a viewer, you never actually get a chance to see, okay, what is this person like? How does he design his stuff? What's his thinking process?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. How does he interact with other people when he's not on?
It's not just that. It's also, is there anything that this person would really like to talk about that they can't? YouTube channels tend to be very single-threaded. Because,
No, sorry. I was just gonna ask, since you're really big into crafting, what's the one project you're like most proud of?
good question. I think I would go with the Ruin Tower I finished last January, just because that took ages.
How long did that take?
On and off, I think it was a couple of months of gluing tiny bricks one after the other.
Is that on your channel?
Yeah.
Tower?
Let's see if I can bring it up.
Yeah, I want to see it because I'm always really impressed by these crafts. I don't have the patience for it.
Nope.
But
Oh, never mind. Go ahead.
But other than that, I just enjoy putting stuff together, finding different ways to use stuff. So again, you mentioned the Battle Mets project, for example. I was very proud of that because so many people found it useful.
Oh wow, yeah, I'm watching the tower right now, and it looks. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, it just keeps going up. Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of and that's a lot of tiny bricks.
Wow. It's going off the camera. Oh
Yeah,
wow.
this is great.
And was this for a campaign or just your own personal thing?
Bit of both. It was for a competition that was going on the Mordheim Facebook group.
Oh, so there's competitions for this stuff.
Kind of, yeah.
Oh.
But I also do every month, every 2 months, I do a crafting challenge on my stream. So it's like, okay, we're going to have this particular team.
That's right. I was gonna enter one. I was gonna enter the DM screen one, and I completely forgot to. I didn't forget the challenge. I forgot to make the necessary repairs because mine was broken. But then yeah, I missed that one.
Wow. How many challenges have you gone into?
I think the one we're running now is the 17th, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny because the challenges started with a joke from a person I was interviewing. It was Marcin from Jagersdorf Fleet.
Oh,
He was saying something like, "Yeah, we should do a challenge, see who can build something with pistachio shells."
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds like a terrible idea, so we did that, and we just kept rolling it forward every month.
The crafting community loves their challenges because it's really just an excuse to show everyone your work,
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah,
and to look at other people's great work. I know
that's
the
it.
Tabletop Crafters Guild did their official. I don't know if they're still doing it. They did their official challenges for a while through the
Mhm.
Facebook page and the YouTube channels of the admins there, which I entered one time. But I see some of the other people's stuff like yours, and I just get intimidated. But Carl, yeah, Carl's one of the people that I go to every now and then if I have like a crafting question, like what kind of glue should I use or something like that.
Yeah. What's the name of this machine you're using right now?
That's a Proxim. It's a thermocutter. So basically, it's a hot wire table.
Yeah,
Oh.
there's one in the shelf over there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I got one of those.
Okay. Now, normally, I don't suggest people buy any fancy or special tools,
Mhm.
especially until they get into crafting. And that if you're just starting out, don't buy all the expensive equipment. See if you like it first, and then if you want to go on. But when they do get equipment, the Proxim is generally the first and only real tool I suggest they get. Anything else you can do with kitchen knives or hobby knives, craft knives, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to do phone crafting, you will buy a Proxim eventually because it's just so useful.
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail on the head. It's not even a recommendation. Like if you're gonna do foam crafting, you just will buy a Proxon eventually
Mm-hmm.
at some
Yeah.
point. Yeah, I always find there's kind of two sort of schools of thought in the especially in the role playing game crafting community. Um, I learned from DM Scotty how important it is, and also just from common sense, how important it is for playability to not have big walls sticking up and blocking.
Hmm.
But then I learned from almost every other content creator in the space um, how cool it is to have big walls sticking up and have really realistic buildings. And I find myself often at odds with myself over it because I want my players to be able to see, but I also want them to be able to see something cool. And for me, these days, it's less of a problem because I now have a lowered play surface in my tables,
Hmm.
already a few inches that they can see over. But where do you fall in that sort of debate? Obviously, this video we're watching now is a really tall tower, but what do you think about that?
Okay. For wargaming, it's fine. You really want tall buildings because they just create different tactical opportunities.
Yeah, that
Mm-hmm.
A
makes
flat battlefield is the most boring thing you can play on.
Very true.
Okay?
Very true.
For role playing, I don't even use buildings all that much. It's like maybe as a background, but I think it's something that Professor Dungeon Master says a lot. It's like unless you're doing a combat scene, you don't need terrain. If you're doing a combat scene, you don't care what the building all the way over down the street looks like.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I like to make it as intricate as possible while still being usable. And so most of our stuff here is modular. But every now and then I do get a wall that it's like this wall is so high I can use it, but it has to just be like in the back. But
By the way, Mia says, "Nice hatchet, Carl."
oh yeah, I was going to talk about that. I was going to talk about that hatchet. You used that in the your clip for our welcome video.
Yeah,
You had that up. I sent a friend of mine. Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
uh,
What,
it's a plastic thing.
did you make that?
Hmm?
Did you make that?
No, no, it's a It's from a company called Cold Steel. They make training weapons and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
So I usually keep it next to my desk because it's a really good back scratcher.
Yeah, it looks like.
Plus,
But no, I
it's fun
sent,
to twirl it around and stuff. So
yeah,
if
that's
idle hands pick up the hatchet, just twirl it around for a bit, put it back, scratch my back.
yeah, I got one up there. But no, I sent the welcome video edit, the trailer that I've been running to a friend of mine who isn't in the hobby at all, he wouldn't play D&D if you held a gun to his head. Hey, this is what I'm doing. He said, all those people in our group chat, all those people are just Steve in different masks. I said, no, they're not. He screenshotted Frank Motocrush Redding, sent that, said, look, this is a dead giveaway. But then I said, you better watch out. Maltese Steve has a hatchet.
So that's that. Yeah, that's another thing I kind of want to talk about. How do you feel about that, Carl, with the current like community of role players? Because I think there's like two big communities now. The people who are really into the mainstream of role playing, like Critical Role and all that stuff,
Mhm.
and the underground people who are more like old school. Like, what do you think about those two communities? Like, do you think one's better than the other, or?
Better than the people.
I don't. I don't think about them at all. If I'm being really honest, I mean, like, if someone wants to play a game, they want take a seat at the table, roll dice, have fun.
Mhm.
This community, that community. I mean, it's just people who want to play games.
Good, good, good.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, and then I remembered I'm not the one being interviewed.
No, because I sometimes hear a stigma online of people saying, "Oh, I like when role playing was just a small thing, but now it's turned into a big thing," you know.
Mm.
And there's some people think that that kind of ruins the hobby in some ways.
Those people need to get a life.
Nah.
I never.
I mean,
Sorry.
sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I never understood people who love something and then get mad when a whole bunch of other people start loving it too. I never understood that.
What do you think, Carl?
Okay, I mean, if it was still a very small, very niche hobby, what would happen is we wouldn't get any of the great tools we would have.
Mhm.
I'm talking about Foundry, Roll20, and stuff like that. There wouldn't be as many people who could make a living out of it, so we would not be having as many games to play.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I mean, again, EZ6 could not have happened if there wasn't a certain volume of people because the market would be eaten up by the larger groups.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Same for Shadow Dark, same for Mergberg, possibly.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's very true. Yeah, the more people there are, the more diversity there's going to be in the hobby.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, like I'm totally for spreading the hobby and getting more people in. I'm definitely not a gatekeeper. I want to play with more people.
Yeah.
But
you're right; they are out there.
But they are. But I do hear people sometimes saying stuff like, "Oh, they're ruining it." But I'm like, no. More people, the better. That's how we get such crazy ideas. Like,
No, I'll be honest. I mean, I've seen some very weird stuff that a smaller industry would not be able to support. It's like, for example, I think someone was making D&D miniature gummies to play with and eat, which was incredibly weird. And
that's interesting.
Yeah, like I was.
yeah, but
Go ahead.
sorry, but I mean, the thing is that okay, maybe a My Little Pony adventure game exists.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah. Okay.
If you don't want to play it, let other people play it. Go play other stuff. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make you play it.
Sebastian told me yesterday from Atmos Seeker that he went out and bought the Lego D&D, like the D&D Legos. I didn't even know that was a thing, but like it certainly wouldn't be if there weren't so many people in the hobby.
Exactly.
Like, no, Lego wouldn't have made a branded D&D set.
Mm-hmm. It's
to-
expensive.
I would guess so. I mean, all Legos are. But yeah, thinking about it, I think we did use a few Lego pieces back in the day as terrain. Because I mean,
Lego
it
is
was
so
Lego. It was there. We had it. It works.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people know how expensive Legos are. I think that's why people buy the alternative, which is I forgot the name of the other brand.
Duplo?
I think it's Blocko.
Nah.
Block.
I think there are a few actually. There are a few variants.
But the Lego is so expensive. I saw
Yeah,
the dragon, the D&D dragon Lego, and I think it's like $600 or something like that, just for that one set. It's crazy.
yeah. I think a friend of mine mentioned the Lego Millennium Falcon set, and I was like, you know, you could buy a trip for that price. You know, you just could get on a plane, go on a holiday somewhere, and
Yeah. That's one thing I want to ask. How much money do you think a person can save on crafting versus buying that model online?
Oh man.
okay. I'm not going to go into Lego because kind of Lego is kind of its own hobby. Collecting and building Lego is its own hobby.
Sure.
But if you take building gaming terrain versus buying, I don't know, Games Workshop terrain or official branded terrain, yeah, you do save quite a lot. I can't put a number on it, but you have the problem that you, if you have a picture in your head, you're not going to be able to use that because you have to use the official terrain pieces,
Yeah.
Mhm,
unless you get really good at cutting them up and whatever.
mhm.
And I'll be honest, if you're buying two L-shaped walls for $30, I think, the inclination to cut them up and do stuff to them is much lower.
Yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
Uh, but yeah, I mean, like I said, a set of 12 shaped walls is around $30. So a sheet of XPS foam, which is I think 2 feet by 3 feet, is like $5 maybe.
Wow. So more than half.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can make way more than that out of that XPS.
Yeah,
You can make tons of walls out of that foam.
or cardboard or whatever, or cork even. Yeah.
Yeah, where I live, it's actually kind of hard to get unless you just buy a 1 inch thick sheet that's about the size you see
Mhm.
over at Home Depot. Because here in California, the XPS is not legal to use as insulation in buildings. It violates building code. So it's not as common. Like, it's not illegal to sell it, but it's against the law to use it in a building. So there's not as much of it around. But in a lot of other places, I see people talking about they just swing by a construction site and get huge 8-foot sheets out of the dumpster for free.
Yeah, yeah.
If you live in a place where people are using it in buildings, you can get it for free, easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one good thing about the Proxim, for example, is that it makes cutting expanded polystyrene a lot easier.
Yeah.
So you know the bubble foam, the stuff the one that if you try cutting it with a knife, you're just
You get stuff everywhere.
covering everything with foam bubbles. With a Proxim that just cuts right through. So that's one problem solved. It makes really iffy material usable. So yeah, I mean, and you can find that everywhere. I mean, everyone is throwing that stuff away.
Yeah. Mia's in the chat saying she just got a bunch out of the dumpster. Yeah.
No, like that's one thing because I had never really played with miniatures back in the day or any kind of terrain back in the day before I met Steve. And when I came over to his
Mhm.
place, he blew me away with his setup. Like I think he set up like a big forest with a bunch of like mountains and whatever,
Yeah.
and a creek. And I looked at it, and I was like, "Holy crap! like this is insane." And then one of the most vivid experiences I had was you had like a house, and we were in that house, and then you did the reveal of picking the house up, like half of it,
Yeah.
and you showed the inside of the house, and I was like, "This is crazy." This is crazy.
That's a thing I do. You know, I was talking about not wanting the walls to get in the way. I see so many people in the crafting community make the building so the roof lifts off and you can
Mhm.
see in. I hate that. Make it so the walls and the roof come off together and then you have a floor and there's no walls in the way.
Okay, speaking as a wargamer, that is a no, don't do that.
Why is that?
Because then how do you know where the doors and windows are?
Oh, well, you
That's
you
true.
you got to mark them out for sure. Yeah,
That's true.
yeah. That's true. That's true in tabletop, like role playing game combat as well. But I paused this video here a while back. I wanted to ask you about this wash. I'm sure anyone can go watch this video on your channel and find out. But do you make your own washes, or is
Yeah, washes are the easiest thing to make. It's just paint and water. You just put in a lot of paint and not sorry, a lot of water and not too much paint.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, that's what I do. But I also see a lot of people using like store bought ones, like Army Painter ones, which I have a little bit. I was just wondering what this looks like. I know Black Magic Craft has a recipe for like putting dish soap in it to help it flow.
Depends. In this case, in this particular case, I didn't need to, especially because it's already a vertical surface, so gravity takes care of most of the work.
Sure.
If it's something that's very finely detailed, yeah, it's either dish soap, or what I prefer sometimes is that very tiny drop of surgical spirit.
Mm.
Do you sell any of your crafts online?
No, nope,
You don't sell anything.
nope.
Has anyone
I
has anyone asked you for like a commission?
yeah, and the answer was no.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, I have given some pieces away, but I don't think I would sell them. One of the reasons is I already have a job which I enjoy doing, which I'm very grateful for. But crafting is something I do to distress. Okay,
Gotcha.
the moment that becomes if it's a commission and there's a deadline or there's money involved, whatever, that automatically stops being something I do to calm down. It becomes a source of stress itself.
You're,
Yep.
you're like one of those pure artists back in like the Greek times who just did it in his backyard, and
Kind of.
he never commissioned to anybody. He would just work on a piece for years, and
Yeah.
just say, "No, I'm just working on this."
Yeah, I mean, if someone wanted to throw millions of dollars at me for something, I might be persuaded. But let's face it, that's not happening.
Fair enough.
But that's interesting. Like,
Yeah. This is a great video too, by the way.
Thanks.
I like the way you shoot. I mean, obviously shooting top down is commonplace in crafting videos, but like this shot's really cool. Being able to see what you do.
I was telling Steve that he should start doing live crafting videos.
I did one.
Oh, good God, that would be terrible.
But do you ever shoot your crafting videos live?
No, sometimes, very rarely, I do craft live in some crafting sessions,
Oh yeah.
mostly on Dungeon Matrons Discord and so on. That's very rare because I'm not very good at multitasking. So usually just having a coffee or a drink and talking to people.
Mhm.
But yeah, if I shot a Minecrafting live, mostly it would be okay. What the hell am I going to do with this now? Oh shit! No, no, no! This is going wrong.
I wouldn't mind watching that though.
Yeah, that's true. You know, sometimes it is valuable for people who aren't as advanced in the hobby to see that even those of you who are really, really good at it still fuck it up.
See, Dungeon Matron says, Steve, please do a live crafting session. I would love to see that.
Well, Lisa, I didn't know you at the time, but I did one in the early days of the channel on Twitch. I think it was just like Alan and Joshua in the chat. But
Well, now you can do it again
yeah,
in the future.
maybe. Except I don't actually do crafting that much these days. I do so much.
Maybe you should.
You know, I do so much for the channel that I lean on 3D printing for almost everything now.
So let's see. And another thing that that would make a crafting live stream very slow for me is that I'm a very slow crafter.
Yeah.
Do you use 3D printing?
I no, I'm holding off on 3D printing. I have so far refrained from getting myself a 3D printer because I have very poor impulse control. So I impulse control. So what would happen probably is that in a couple of months, everything would be covered in 3D printed things.
Ah,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I see.
So yeah,
No,
see.
that's a real thing. I'm in this room I'm in. There's a window there and a door there, and whenever I'm doing 3D print stuff, they have to be open because the smell will just over. I'm clumsy. I spill. Yeah.
no, it's not even that. It's just literally, oh, that looks interesting. I'm going to print it. Oh, that looks interesting too. I'm going to print that too.
Yeah.
And that one, and that one, you're going to get printed, and everyone's going to get printed. And
That is
I've still got unpainted miniatures from 1994, so it's like
yeah.
maybe easy on the backlog.
Fair enough. Yeah, Lisa's in the chat begging me to do a live crafting session. I was actually supposed to do one on Monday as part of ArchoniaFest, but I was behind on building characters for the game, so I had to cancel the crafting. It was actually just going to be painting some terrain that I have, but maybe today or tomorrow it might happen.
Or in the future, you know.
Or in the future, yeah.
That's
Alan brought his mic from home just so we could have a painting station over there. We haven't used it all week.
Well, this is our first Archonia Fest, so it's we'll see how it goes.
You would see how it goes, but I also think calling audibles during a big event like this is always going to happen. Yeah.
Speaking of big events, is there like a crafting con that people can go to or anything like that?
I think it's. I think it used to be called
Mythicon?
Mythicon, I think, or Mace, or what? I think the name changed recently though, so Lisa would probably know it.
Yeah.
She said Mythicon.
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah. And Mia's saying that I need to ask you about your EZD6 book, which I don't think I knew about.
You have a book?
I have a book. Actually, I was looking for it before the stream, and I have no idea where I put it. I'm sure it's somewhere in the building, but I misplaced it.
Is it on Drive?
Okay. It is on drive-thru. It's called The Four Horsemen.
The Four Horsemen. And is it a supplement or an adventure?
It's a supplement, so it's basically it's historical fantasy for EZ6 or dark fantasy.
Four Horsemen. Let me see.
Oh yeah, I bought your Adventure of the Pool of Nameless Things.
Ooh.
I was gonna run that on the stream eventually, but I hadn't got around to it yet.
That's a pretty crazy cover.
Yeah, where's this artwork from?
It's Albrecht Dürer's Riders of the Apocalypse. It's from 1493, I want to say.
That explains why it looks
Just
like it's from 14.
color flipped. Yeah.
Interesting. What setting is this?
So it's basically set in the whole Roman Empire. So it's mainly Germany in the is it 1530s or 1630s. So there's this massive war going on between the Protestant and Catholic German states, and there you've got the French and the Swedish who want to get a slice of the pie. So we've got basically hell on earth going on in that place.
That's very interesting. Oh, who's
you can get it in hard copy too.
No, I don't think it's in hard. Sorry, yeah, it's in soft cover, not hard cover, but you can hard cover.
You can get a print version.
Let me see more pictures.
Okay, and all the artwork in the book is from contemporary artists. So it's again people from the 1600s drawing their neighbors, basically.
Awesome.
And you said it's set during the Roman Empire?
No, the whole Roman Empire. Not
yeah, it was later after Charlemagne.
Much later.
Okay.
So what I did in that book is on top of the basic EZ6 rules are rules for firearms, because you've got the old black powder weapons that if you're very unlucky they just can go boom in your hand. Disease and some rules for horsemanship, so you can have those cavalry charges and stuff like that.
Okay, well, how did you apply those extra rules to a system as simple as EZD6? Like, what was your approach to that? Just boons or what?
Okay, so for example, starting with firearms, that was pretty simple because there are already missile weapons in EZD6. Okay.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to put in there is like put something to show how incredibly dangerous to the user.
The user.
Yeah. Okay, so the way the rule basically works is it works like a normal missile attack, but if you roll a 1, you have this special table where terrible things will happen.
Oh, so you made a special rolling 1 table for this game.
Yeah.
That's great.
And with horses, then I've got some stuff depending on, for example, the horse quality that's going to view boons or banes.
Okay.
Okay, because for example, if you're riding a very poorly trained horse, anything you try to do while you're on that horse, even trying to descend, which is going to be much harder.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Absolutely.
Let me see the preview. How many previews we get?
Huh?
From the preview?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let me see that.
So yeah, and
9
the
pages.
reason I picked that time setting, apart from it being super interesting with all sorts of things going on at the time,
Yeah.
I wanted to do something along the lines of again the Warhammer Fantasy roleplay setting, which is
Okay.
it's pretty much again Holy Roman Empire, but with elves and dwarves.
Yeah. Cool.
But I didn't want the elves and dwarves, and I just advanced it along a couple of centuries.
Let me see the table of contents.
Table of contents.
Yeah.
All right.
So you have new rules: stress, disease, armor and shield, arms and armor quality, black powder weapons, horses and horse quality, cavalry charges, and what was that last one?
Lackeys.
Lackeys.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can hire people to you're not going to clean your own clothes, and you're a gentleman. You hire someone to do it for you.
I'm too busy adventuring. Yeah.
I always love a good sidekick lackey system.
That's great, man.
Arms and
And I especially wanted to include that because if you look at the Three Musketeers, for example, their sidekicks and they've always got their sidekicks with them, cleaning up after them and picking up their stuff, and they're fully fledged characters in their own right.
That's great.
What's the diseases you talk about?
It's a generic rule for diseases. So if you catch something, then you get Banes throughout the day, and then you have to roll every day to see if you get better or worse.
Oh, okay.
That's
Okay.
cool.
Because again, around this time you've got plagues, you've got syphilis, you've got dysentery, you've got all the good stuff. I'm not going to create a rule for every specific disease. So here's a generic disease rule you can give your players.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Mia, for pointing us towards this because I did not know to ask about it. That's great.
Robert says, psychic lackey system. Why is that familiar from Shadows of Archonia season 1?
But that's Joshua.
Oh, that's Joshua.
Joshua Roberts.
Yeah, Joshua Roberts.
Yeah. I'm actually not sure what he's referring to.
Psychic lackey. I guess he's either referring to Throck holding the bags or maybe, I'm not sure. You're gonna have to go into that more, Joshua.
You lost us, bud. I carry the bag.
Yeah,
that's what he's talking about.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
But yeah, this looks like a great supplement. Everyone go support Karl. Buy the Four Horsemen. This looks awesome.
That's something I want to do, Karl, in the future, is make my own supplements, because I love going on Drive-Thru RPG and just seeing tons of fan-made supplements for games. I think that's so.
Oh yeah, same.
Yeah.
What's your creative process on making a supplement? Like how do you go about it?
I mean, it's not like I made tons of them, but with this one, I had a pretty clear idea of what I wanted to do, which was give myself a well-defined playing world, gaming world. And again, I like dark, gritty settings, and it doesn't get any more dark and gritty than the real world.
Me too.
Okay, even if you don't include any fantasy stuff, the real world is incredibly dark and gritty. Okay. Second, one of the things I really loved about the D6 system is how hackable it is, how much stuff you can put into it, how much stuff you can change into it, and I just wanted to do something to say that okay, hey, you can do other things apart from fantasy with it. Here's this one. Scotty's been doing horror and sci-fi and stuff, so here's one which takes it into a completely different direction, and it still works great.
And how long did it take you to make that supplement?
Not terribly long. I think it was about, not including playtesting and stuff, I think it was about 2 or 3 months.
2 or 3 months. Okay.
Who did
I did have to learn laying out how to lay out a book and stuff like that in the process, but that turned out to be surprisingly easy.
I believe from what I see in the chat that Dungeon Matron was one of your playtesters.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she was. Sophie the Brown Widow,
How many
Tan
times?
Collector.
How many times did you play test the system? Did you play test the supplement before you were happy with it?
Not that many times, surprisingly, because again the changes are very contained. I'm not adding in 50 or 60 rules. Most of the basic rules were down. Okay, this is working in I think a couple of sessions. Okay, this is where we want them to be.
Gotcha.
Then other playtests for the main adventures. There are 2 sample adventures in the book, so we did test those, and yeah,
Outstanding.
they went places.
Who are you interviewing next?
Okay, next on Sunday, I've got Chris from Good Enough Sceneries. He makes terrain mostly for the Middle-earth strategy battle game.
Cool. Very good. And
And after that, we shall see.
do you have any crafting videos in process that we'll be seeing soon?
I have 2. Oh, I'm multitasking. Whoa. Okay, so I don't know if this will show up in camera, but making some static grass at the moment.
Oh,
So that's a video about making static grass.
awesome. That's good. I've always wanted to use some of that. Never have.
It's really easy. I mean, you can you don't even need an applicator. You can use a balloon to get the grass to stand up.
Oh.
It's lots of fun. The other one just behind me, I think you can see
I can see something there. It looks like a
something. I'm not going to get it down right now, but that's going to be a terrain board. So it's like a 2 by 2 foot board. I still need to put in the foam and sculpt it, which is why I'm making the static grass, because I need to cover all of that with static grass.
All right. So we're a little low on time, but before we go, can you tell us about the layer challenge?
The layer change. Okay. So that's running till the 21st of April, which if anyone wants to jump in, there's still plenty of time. Trust me, plenty of time.
How do they jump in? Join your Discord?
Okay, they can jump in on Discord, or I think I have links on one of the comments, or one of the community posts in my YouTube channel. There's a link to Google Drive. They can just drop in photos of their craft there. The objective for this one is to build a lair, any kind of lair. The lair of a creature or the lair of whatever, it's up to you. Do whatever you like. Just as fit in the idea of a lair.
Awesome. And do you have a plan for what is the next challenge after that?
Well, to quote John Hannibal Smith, the game is the plan. No, I have no idea. Usually what we do is sit down after that one is done, after everyone has rested and had a break from crafting, and you say, okay, what are we going to do for the next one?
All right.
People throw in ideas. It will not be edible terrain, just in case Lisa was wondering.
Edible terrain?
It will not be edible terrain.
That sounds like a long story.
Yeah, it's a very long story. Trust me. But yeah, we'll figure something out and we'll throw it out there. And again, anyone who wants to jump in, they can either find my Discord or again find the community post on my channel. There's a Google Drive link. Jump in there, throw in your stuff. Just remember to label it so we know who made what.
Great. All right, Karl. Well, thank you for sitting with us this morning.
Oh, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, it's great meeting you.
Yes, definitely.
Same.
So ArchoniaFest will continue. The next thing on the schedule, Alan's going to do some live prep for Delta Green, which we're playing tomorrow. And then
I just noticed that the text was wrong on the screen.
Oh, it's been wrong the whole time. That's fine.
That's
There's a lot going on this week, guys.
Don't worry.
Yeah, you've had a long week.
Later.
But thank you so much for the interview.
Yes.
No, it was a pleasure. Thank you, guys. It was also fun. And yeah, and good luck for the. I think it's two more days of this.
Yeah, today and tomorrow.
2 more days.
Yeah, good luck, guys.
All right.
We'll see you later.
See you later.
Hey,
Thank
bye.
you, everyone.